Well, a very good evening, everybody, and welcome to Delta T Racing. I'm Nelboy, and I'll be commentating on tonight's Division 1 action live from Imola. The exact name of this, at the moment, the race is the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, although also fondly known to us oldies as the San Marino Grand Prix, which it was named due to there already being a race in Italy, the small country of San Marino nearby, so it took the name from that. But welcome to Division 1. An interesting race tonight. It's the first time that Delta T Racing have been to Imola for a league race. We have been here for the Race of Champions last year, which incidentally was won by Chalkers, who's currently second in the driver's standing for Division 1, so it'd be interesting to see if he can continue some good form here. He's very confident, said he would be disappointed if he doesn't get anything other than a podium. So Chalkers, it's all over to you. We will be watching. So okay, who was first on track? I like to follow the first person out, which was Jari this week in the Mercedes, so we'll watch him on his warm-up lap, and then obviously to set the first timed lap of qualifying, as long as he doesn't invalidate, which again is quite easy to do here. Okay, let's just jump on board a bit with him here. We'll be coming into the final section of Ravazza here. 17, turn 18, and here we go, DRS open onto the start finish line. Okay, so we are go on the Imola Grand Prix. That's turn 1 there, even though it's a very slight corner. We're then going towards Tamburello for turns 2, 3 and 4. Incidentally, the chicane there put in obviously shortly after the demise of the late Ayrton Senna in '94. But yeah, obviously made the track a lot safer there, although we have seen crashes with obviously George Russell and Bottas being a high profile one. But following around Jari, it's clean so far. As we're coming down towards the Acqua Minerale. And up the hill, and then to the sharp right left chicane at Variante Alta. Turns 14 and 15 on the track, and that's unfortunate there, but Jari has invalidated, so he won't be setting a lap time. Let's pop on with Stein, who's also invalidated just behind. So who is going to be the first to set a lap time? Chalker's also invalidating. Who do we have a bit further back? Trying to find out who's on track at the moment. Where are we? Okay, no one's actually set a lap yet, so some invalidations there. I'm just waiting to see if anyone does cross the line and set a time. I'm going to follow on with Shabby for the moment. There's Prince Killer there with a 1:14.249, so we do now have a lap on the board, followed closely by Benny there with a 1:15.0, so 3/4 of a second difference there, but you can imagine Benny is just putting a lap on the board. Bren also in there with a 1:15.7, so we've got quite a spread on top 3 at the moment of a second and a half, but that's going to close up as qualifying continues. So here we are on board, or watching Shabby now, currently leading the championship by just a point from Chalkers. I'll pull up the standings in a while for you to have a look at, but we're quite close at the top. Chalkers obviously winning the first 2 Grand Prix of the season, but having bad luck last time out in Belgium, getting caught up in an incident, I believe at turn 1, and bringing it home. I have to check, but I think it was just outside the points. I will have a look and see if I can find it. Was in fact, yeah, 13th place. Chalkers brought himself home. But yeah, still keeps him up in the championship. And obviously, leader Shabby, we've had 2 seconds and a 3rd place, so consistent this year. He'll be looking to get his first win on the board here at Imola. Here we are now with Shabby coming onto the start-finish line. We'll see what time Shabby can put down, a 1:14.5. So he's the closest challenger at the moment to Michael. I was just having a look to see. I thought there was Chalkers on a lap, but I think it was Michael there with a 15.0. So he'll be on a in-lap now. Who else do we have? Bren into the pits. Who's next across the line? Is it Mamba? It is indeed going to be Black Mamba, who doesn't set a time. So I assume that was an outlap, or he might have invalidated. I didn't quite get to see that. But the next across the line is going to be an Aston Martin, who has also invalidated. Benny's in the pits. The next car out, Rosette and Rambo, just coming round to start his flying lap. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. So Wesley coming round on the end of his flying lap. We'll see what we can get from Wesley. Okay, into 8th position on 1:16.3. I think that's just a feeler lap for him. Obviously Wesley back in the seat this week after illness, kept him out last week. So Wes, it's good to see you back. Hope you have a good race. Okay, so coming through on a lap, I think we have Mamba coming towards the end of a lap. Be interesting to see if he's going to put one on the board or come into the pits. He's going to put a lap on the board. We'll see what Mamba can put on. Up in the 5th place, 1:15.331. Good lap. So who do we have next? Yari, I think, is going to be next across the line. And he goes second with a 1:14.422. So no messing there from Yari. Straight up and on the pace. Has very good speed, Yari. We've seen it before. Himself, Prince, Shabby. They've had some titanic battles over the years. And I can see more of those happening this year. So Chalkers invalidating again. It looks like it's going to go out for another lap. Okay, so Wesley now coming into the pit, so he'll get himself ready for another run. Let's see who else is out at the moment on track. Okay, Cassell's on his outlap, so let's jump on board with Cassell and see how he does going through the first sector. Down the start finishing line here, off to heading towards Tamburella. So let's get some tyres up. There we go. Okay. So, staying on board with Cassell. Good so far. So, keeping himself a clean lap. Now heading up towards turns 14, 15, the very outer. And here we'll just have turns 16, 17, 18 at Ravazza to go. We'll see what kind of time he can put on here. 3 drivers at the moment not setting a time. Rosette and Rambo, Cassell, who we're on board with now, and 10K. Cassell, we'll see what time he puts onto the board. We are looking at 15.9, so it moves him 12th position. But I think he's got more in him there. It's just a matter of tying it all together. So Bren there's invalidated as well. The next car out on track, I think it's going to be Stav's going to be starting his fast lap now, and just behind him we have Bossmots as well, who's going to be starting his second set of flying laps. Okay, Yari just coming out the pits there. Let's hope he doesn't get in the way of his teammate, which he doesn't. We have Bren off. So it looks like Bren is the first. Yep. Bren's our first DNF of qualifying. We go back on board with Stav. So yeah, it looks like Bren has fallen victim of Tamburella there. Quite easy to do, take a bit of curb, certainly on the exit or midway through the corner. You can, if you take too much curb, you are thrown off into the wall before you know it. So again, it could come down to penalties at this race. It's fairly easy to invalidate, certainly into Aqua Minerale and 14-15 Variante Alta as well. So quite easy to pick up penalties there or corner cutting warnings, and they'll soon add up. So it could come into play towards the end of the race. But we are on with Stav now. We'll see what he can put in. So a 15-7 there for Stav. The next across the line, I believe, is going to be who is going to be Yari. But Yari's on an outlap. So we are next up Shabby. Again's going to be on an outlap. I'm missing a few here. Chalkers puts the time on 14.457. I think that was earlier. Michael now out on his lap. Let's try and catch up with some of these, as I am missing everything at the moment. Bossmot's coming across the line, see if Bossmot's can improve. He doesn't. I think that was again just an outlap. So trying to find who's actually on a lap and who's not. Mamba there having a bit of a moment through Tamburella. Again, as I say, it's a difficult corner that if you get that completely wrong. Benny's into the pits, next to cross the line. Rosette and Rambo finally puts a time on the board, a 1:16.1. I've missed Wesley improving there as well to a 15.2. He was up at a 16, so apologies Wesley, I missed that there. Who do we have? Shabby. I'm quite sure who's on a flyer here. Michael might be. Apologies for the flicking here. I'm just trying to find out who's on a flying lap. Who Chalkers isn't. Stein is and just improves to a 1:14.8. Shabby is Shabby. No, Shabby comes into the pits. So next across the line is going to be, who's it going to be? Is it Stav? No. Wesley is going to pit. And behind him we've got Mamba who will pit. And Bossmos pit. So the majority of people pitting now. 5 minutes to go, just under 5 minutes, so they'll be looking at slapping their tyres on and putting in their best, hopefully their best qualifying time. Let's jump on board with Chalkers at the moment. Again, invalidated, so Chalkers is confident here, he likes the track. So there's a quick run through whilst we're waiting for the rest of them to set their times or at least get out on track. And Stein's going to be coming into the pits there as well. The only one left on track is 10k. Who's invalidated this lap? Is he going to go for another fly? He is not. So we're now everybody in the pits other than Yari, who's the first out to go on to his last flying lap, followed by Cassell. So having a look, Wesley now putting on the soft tyres. It did very well with a 15.2 on mediums, but it looks like he's going to slap on the softs now. So I would expect to see him down in the low 1:14, certainly pushing towards the pole position times. But so far this year we've had a block out with pole positions. Yari, currently in third position in the Mercedes, he's taken pole position at every single race so far. He's not had the best of luck itself in the race. I I think he had an 8th in Mexico. I can't remember where he finished off the top of my head in Azerbaijan. I will have a look, see if I can find that out. But yeah, unfortunately I did not finish at Belgium. I'm just trying to remember where he actually finished in... No, not 100% sure. And I think, to be honest, I was talking out my backside, because if I remember rightly, Chalkers actually took pole position at Azerbaijan. So, yeah, ignore my incorrect stats there. So anyway, following Jari now on to what will be his... I'd have thought it'll be his last lap. He might get another one in, but obviously then he's got a pretty worn... Oh, well, an extra lap on his tyres. And not 100% sure of the tyre strategy here. I can bring it up. I mean, it looks like potentially it's a 1-stop or a 2-stop. So softs onto hards or soft medium. And soft again at the end, so you know you can juggle that about a bit, but a lot's going to come down to safety cars as to when everybody has to pit and how long they've got to go on the tyres. So we go on board with Jari, who's invalidated. So I follow him all the way around and he's invalidated. We are then Cassell, who has a valid lap here, will cross the line with a 1:15.599, takes him up into 11th place. Next across the line we are looking, I think is Stein, coming into Rivazza. And then onto the start-finish line, he's closely followed, I think, by Bosmots. So we'll see what time Stein can put on the board. He's on his out lap, so that really wasn't helpful at all. And Bosmots there does indeed put in a lap into 6th position. Just on board with Michael on his out lap. Who do we have coming in on their fastest lap? Or onto their fast lap, should I say. I don't think it's Shabby. Shabby now starting his final run. So are we the lead? Chalkers will be first across the line. And he puts in a 1:14.108. So confidence definitely there with Chalkers. Did say he was confident here and pops it onto provisional pole position. And Jari closely behind there. Doesn't improve, but he's going to go on to another flyer, I think, on these. So let's see what he can do. Next across the line, is it Cassell or Wesley? Or it's Cassell coming into the pits. We're then with... Oh, where is it? Stein. Oh, sorry, I'm struggling with the colours a bit tonight. So let's follow Mamba, who's coming into the pits. We then got Michael, who will be setting a time and will improve to a 1:14.3, takes him up into 5th place. Okay, it's not Benny. Next is Rosette and Rambo, who drops into the pits. Who is the next across the line? I can't see. I think it's Kiko. Kiko does go into 7th place. We're then looking at Benny. A 14.569, so doesn't improve, actually just ever so slightly outside of his time. Wesley there doesn't improve either. Bosmots comes into the pits. Jari on a final lap. He's the only one who can take it away from Chalkers. And he doesn't. No, he's a lot slower. So there we are. That's qualifying completed today. So Chalkers takes pole position in the McLaren. So a very good lap from him at 1:14.1. In 2nd place we have Jari, 3rd Prince Killer, 4th Shabby, 5th Michael. In 6th we have Stein, 7th Kiko, 8th Benny, and the rest I will bring up in just a moment. So here we go, as I say, reading through, we have on pole position Chalkers in the McLaren, then Yari in the Mercedes with a 114.2, just slightly behind there. Prince Killer third, Shabby fourth, Michael fifth, Stein sixth, seventh is Kiko, eighth Benny, who was the winner out last time at Belgium, so we'll look to see Benny going forward from there. Bossbots in ninth, 10th Wesley, 11th we have Mamba, 12th Cassell, 13th we have Stav, in 14th we have Bren, 15th Rosette and Rambo, and in 16th and last I completely missed before it changed.
You join us in Imola as we prepare for what will undoubtedly be a magnificent day of racing. It's time, of course, for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. A lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most of the Formula One circuits, will take our drivers around 3.1 miles of track. 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin at turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch.
Well, welcome back everybody, and here we are ready to start the formation lap. Let's get some details up whilst we're waiting, or we're watching them go round. So let's have a quick look at tyres just to see who's gone for what, if I can find them. There we go, tyres. So as expected, the top 9 on the softs. Wesley actually completing the top 10 there, qualifying on the medium, so you know, a good lap from him. Puts himself in 10th position on the alternate strategy. We have Mamba, Cassell, Stav, Bren, all on the mediums. Rosetta and Rambo starting on the softs there, so he'll be looking to try and elevate himself quickly. And last we have 10k in 16th, also starting on the mediums. So there we go, having a quick look at the driver standings while we're waiting to go around. So say Shabby leading the championship by just that single point from Chalkers at the moment. So very, very close between the Alfa Romeo and the McLaren driver. Michael in the second McLaren, further 14 points back, and he's only again separated just ahead of Ibini by a point. So we got a very close battle for first and second. Obviously there's only 3 races gone, so early doors, but looking at the constructors, McLaren there 22 points ahead already. You know, reliability's been good for them so far, but Alfa Romeo not far behind, but we'll see how that will change at the end of the race. So we're now coming round to the start finish line to take their positions on the grid, ready for the start of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, or San Marino I'm going to call it. So see if we can get a decent camera angle, would be very nice. Nothing wrong with looking at the back here, but I'd like to see the front and some lights if I can. Here we go. There we are, 4, 5 red lights, and lights are out and off we go, and that's a good start by Chalkers. Yari getting away quite cleanly on the inside there, but Prince Killer not giving up, going towards Tamborella, and Shabby making a move up the outside as well. So we've got a good, no incident so far. Chalkers keeps the lead. Yari in second, Prince third, Shabby fourth, Michael fifth, and Stein in sixth. That's currently where we are at the moment. And so it seems to have been a fairly clean start. A couple of positions chopping and changing, but nothing too major so far. So we are off to a good start. Prince there, as I say, in third position in the AlphaTauri, but a A good start to get away from Chalkers, and he's already looking at trying to build a lead, trying to pull away as quickly as he can on Yarry. It looks like Michael's had an issue. Michael has indeed had a spin through Variante Alta, so it's quite easy to do there. But he's back on track. Hopefully he doesn't have any damage. It doesn't look like it. Certainly doesn't have any visual damage, but it doesn't mean he doesn't have any damage. With this game, your car can look absolutely fine, but you've got a red floor and side pods. So Chalkers fastest lap, 1:19.442. Currently in first position. In second, we have Yarry. In third, Prince Killer. Fourth, Shabby. Fifth, we have Stein. Sixth, Bossmots. Seventh, Benny. Eighth, Kiko. In ninth, we have Wesley. 11th, Bren. Cassell in 12th. 10k up from the back of the grid in 16th. Already made up 3 places there. Michael being the loser there, down 11, but it's didn't quite catch it, but he either got tapped or just coming out. I think it was Aqua Minerale, actually. I think it was even before he got to Variante Outer, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so let's get the tyre details up. So Wesley having a bit of a moment at the back there as well. Again, I missed that, but it did look like that was through Aqua Minerale. Again, doesn't seem to have any damage. But not very easy to tell. Stein now with a fast lap, 1:17.5 in 5th place. So let's run on board with him for a bit. So just starting lap 3, and we don't have really too much of a gap until we get down to 9th place, where Bren seems to just be a couple of seconds behind Kiko, but apart from that everybody's under a second apart. So obviously the DRS zone along the start finish line is pretty much going to we've got a yellow in sector 1 and 2. Looks like Rosetta Rambo has he had an off at the back? I think he must have done. So far we've had 3 spins and I have managed to miss them all, so that's a 100% record. Quite proud of that. So Chalker's just doing what he needs to at the moment. Obviously Yarry relentless behind him, he's not going to give up. With 28 laps to go, and Yarry there actually makes the move. That was a good move there by Yarry. I think that was under DRS. I think he got himself got a good exit coming out of Rivazza. Oh, I do like this helicopter shot. Let's follow around here for a bit. Just keeping an eye on the back, but we certainly the soft runners are pulling away slightly from the mediums. As I say, it's between 8th and 9th. Obviously 8th being Kiko, the last of the soft runners, and Brennan 9th, or the first of the medium runners. We've got nearly a 3-second gap. So we're looking, 3/4 of a second a lap difference between the soft and the mediums, but the softs will go off fairly quickly. I don't know if Chalkers has got any damage, but he seems to have dropped off ever so slightly. Doesn't have the pace, and we've now got Prince who's directly behind him, and directly behind Prince is Shabby. So I can see Prince going for a move here, which indeed he does. Down the start-finish line, the DRS could be so powerful. Shabby looks like he might go for a move up the inside as well. Well defended by Chalkers, wasn't going to give up 2 places that easily, but Chalkers does seem to be just struggling for pace just after about the first sort of lap 3. We have an off at the back. Bossmots, I believe we are, yeah, Boss Mott's had a moment there coming through Tamburello. So not into last place, but again, no damage, so should be able to get going. Obviously a safety car would be ever so handy. Certainly for poor old Rosette and Rambo there, who's 52 seconds behind. Boss Mott's has retired. Oh, Boss Mott's looks like he has had an accident going down into Villeneuve. Let's have a look with Rambo, see if we can find out what's going on. But yeah, it looks like down into the Varianta Villeneuve where Boss Mott's has, just as we get there, it goes. So that's ever so handy. Let's keep an eye now. Chalkers is making a move back on Prince. So it does seem the DRS is quite strong there. We'll keep an eye to see if anyone else is making a move further back. The two Ferraris there of Cassell and Stav. And Wesley recovering to work his way back. He's not far behind 13th now. We have another yellow car. We have a safety car. Rosette and Rambo. I was just saying he could do with a safety car. I don't think he could do with actually causing it. So yeah, it's coming out of Acqua Minerale again. It's so easy to lose the back of the car there. So we're down to 14 runners. So far Boss Mott's, and literally but less than a lap later we lose Rosette and Rambo as well. So Boss Mott's, I think, overheated tyres, lost it in Varianta Villeneuve. And Rosette and Rambo, I can only assume, just got on the gas a bit too early coming out of Acqua Minerale or caught the curb. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but right, okay, we have pit stops going on. So at the front, all of the soft runners are now going to come in and put the mediums on. And the head of that Yari is going to obviously lose the lead, but we'll see what position it drops down into. It seems so slow in the pit lane when you're trying to get out of there. There we are, right, 7th place Yari comes out. So in the lead at the moment, obviously behind the safety car we've got Bren 2408, but he's on his 6 lap old mediums, obviously starting the race tonight on the mediums. We then have Mamba in 2nd, 10k in 3rd, Stav in 4th, Cassell in 5th, Wesley in 6th, all on the medium tyres that they started on. We then have Yari, who's the first of the soft runners really to change. He's on to the medium, so he's in 7th. In 8th we have Chalkers. In 9th we have Prince, who decided to go onto the softs, so he's going to be looking at a two-stop strategy. Whereas Shabby going onto the hards, I think he might be looking at taking them towards the end. Be interested. We're keeping an eye on Shabby, but if anyone can take the tyres that long, Shabby can. Seems to find grip out of tyres that everybody else is struggling to move off the spot. But we'll keep an eye on him and see. Stein in the Aston Martin in 11th, then Benny down in 12th at the moment. But obviously first of the stoppers, so got about 6 places to make up. So sitting around about 6th place at the moment. Kiko. And then Michael. So Michael, obviously having the incident on the opening lap, has put him back to the back of the grid, but he'll be relishing this now. So all the cars bunched up. And yeah, he's got a very good chance of getting himself back up into some decent points. What we will do is just have a quick look at the penalty situations. I say Bren and Mamba both with 3-second penalties. Must be a multiple of corner cutting, so not too bad on the penalties so far. But we are only quarter race distance in, so still 3/4 of the race to go. Anything can happen. So there we go, there's the map of Imola there. Let's say 19 corners. It's you could, I mean, it's if you're looking at it, I mean, turn 19 and turn 1, they are barely corners, to be honest. They give them corners, but they're just sort of kinks in a bend, basically. But the original layout of Imola back in, I think it was 1953, there were no chicanes. It was literally just straights. So you would have the likes of Rivazza would be there, but you would have obviously no Tamburello, which was brought in after the demise of Ayrton Senna. Variante Villeneuve, that was not there either. Variante Alta, that wasn't there. So it was literally just straights. It was kind of a pretty much corners and straights. But they made it a lot more interesting over the years. So we are go again. Let's get rid of that track map. I completely missed it. We were starting there. Bren has a good start. Mamba just behind him. Then 10k Stavros. We have some movement further down. Shabby losing a couple of places. Oh, and we have a Ferrari off there. That was Cassell. So did Cassell and Benny have a small incident there? I don't think they did. I just think they had their own separate incidents. But Benny, I mean, he's only lost a place, so he can make that back up. But yeah, so Cassell out of the race, becomes a third retirement on lap number 9. So again, just after Tamburello. So far Tamburello and Villeneuve have been the main protagonists for everybody. That's where we've had the crashes, seem to be there in qualifying. And it's following suit in the race as well. I want to keep an eye on Prince, because obviously he's on the softs, and with that we have a massive crash there. Wesley and Prince, not 100% sure what happened there, but it has brought out another safety car. I think Prince went along the inside. I'm not sure if Wesley knew he was there or whether there was actually room, but at the end of the day it has caused a big accident. So we've now lost 2 of the potential favourites for the race winning, Prince Killer and Wesley. I would have certainly put them up there at the start of the race. So we're down to 11 runners on lap number 10. And we've already lost 5 people. Stein and Shabby both pitting now. Shabby now going on to the mediums. Obviously didn't like those hards. 22 laps left, 23 laps, couple behind the safety car. So everybody now on mediums, but obviously we've got Stein and Shabby at the back there on the fresh mediums. So yeah, that was a real shame with Wes and Prince there. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but I wanted to keep an eye on Prince. Obviously being on the softs, I think he could have made some gains up. But yeah, it looked like I'm not 100% sure from the angle that we saw. I mean, it certainly looked like Shabby went up the inside. Whether there was room, I don't know. It's not for me to judge. All I can say is it's a shame that 2 of the, certainly the top 5 or 6 drivers in this division are now out. But we'll keep watching. Obviously, we've still got the championship leader in Shabby there, although currently down in 11th place. will catch up to the back of this grid, and if it's one thing Shabby can do, then that is make up places during a race. Chalker's obviously second in the championship at the moment, sitting in 5th. But ideally, you really look at he's in 2nd position because you've got Bren, Mamba and Stavrolis in front that have not changed their tyres at all yet. So still on the tyres that they started. 10k coming into the pits, he's gone on to the hards, so he'll be looking at now taking that towards the end. So the running order that we have at the moment, we have Bren in the Alpine, currently leading the way, 10 lap old mediums. In second in the Williams we have a Black Mamba. So Mamba's doing well today, so let's look for a good result out of you. I don't want to jinx you. Stavrolis in 3rd position, last of the non-stoppers so far on the medium tyres. Then we have Yari, who is the first of the stoppers, so currently sitting in 4th place. Obviously 2 safety cars have certainly helped to close the gap up. Then we have Chalkers and Michael in the McLarens. Michael was looking in a dire position at one point, last and half a lap down, and safety cars pulled him back. But we are going to have the safety car in this lap. You can see Bren now backing up the grid. Or backing up the field, should I say. Bunching them up. He will now become the pace setter. He'll be waiting for the safety car to pull into the pits, and he goes into the second part of Ravazza turn 18, so that's a good start for him there. Pulled away nicely. That's a cracking start by Bren. Let's keep an eye behind, see what's going on. Yari looks like going for a move early on Stav. Going down into turn 1, oh sorry, turn 2, 3 and 4, Tamburello. That was a good move there, and now Chalkers is around the outside of Stav, so got much better drive there, so he is now going to go chasing after Yari. Obviously these are going to be potentially 1-2 at the moment. Stav struggling a bit, but it's an 11 lap old medium, so he's not going to have the bite that the others do around him, but I still think he can eke those out for a bit longer and do well. So let's keep an eye out front. Brent has gone. He's shot off. He's just over, got a second clear already. Then we've got Mamba, who is now being chased down by Yari. Let's get rid of the safety car sign there. And Michael there getting past Stav up the inside, going into turn 17 of Ravazza. And he has the move done there, so we're keeping an eye just on the front here, because I don't think it's going to be long before Yari goes for a move on Mamba, and it wasn't very long at all. So Yari quick off the restart there, working his way back up into second place already, and just behind we have Mamba. Chalkers all over him. Chalkers is not going to want to let Yari get away. Good exit there. We'll see if he is going to go for a move up into Tosa. I don't think he will do. It's Piratella. And now we're down towards Acqua Minerale. I can't see a move happening here either. I think if he's going to do anything, it's going to be into perhaps up the inside of Variante Alta, or indeed round the outside of. Okay, and a little bit of contact there. And so I don't think 2 abreast was going to work there, but Chalker's not giving up yet, certainly heading down towards Ravazza. He goes up the inside and takes the inside line. That's a good move by Chalkers. After failing at Variante Alta, he still picked his time. So DRS now Mamba losing another place to Michael there. We'll see if he's going to try and take it back. He was in the slipstream, but DRS now enabled, but I think that's from next lap. Mamba struggling a bit on those tyres now. And it looks like Kiko and Shabby already. Shabby with a move around the outside, a cracking move around the outside of Kiko there. And Kiko hasn't given up yet, keeping his nose in there, and it was a bit robust there, but Kiko getting past Shabby. There's some good racing going on here. Really want to keep an eye out as well, because it looks like Yari is all over the back of Bren. I don't want to miss a move for the lead, which I think we are going to see very, very shortly. In fact, there we are. That looked far too easy. So Yari retakes the lead. I wonder if Bren's going to be coming into the pits. He's just absolutely struggling on the softs there, on the mediums after 13 laps. Looks like he just hasn't got the grip. Let's go on board with Shabby, who is now right behind Kiko, who is behind Mamba. So we have got a 3-wide situation here. Oh, Shabby a bit twitchy going through there. Mamba, well done, giving him room. I think he knows that wasn't his battle. But what he doesn't want to do is lose too many spaces to, obviously got Benny and Stein right up his backside there. So, Miss Chalkers there, getting past Bren. It does look like the medium runners are really starting to struggle now. 14 laps old on the medium, onto lap 15, and really does look like they're struggling for pace. Bren and Black Mamba have both struggled, to be honest with you, and Stav's lost a lot of places as well. I think it's probably time to come in now, either to go for a couple of soft runs or slap the hards on and take them to the end. I think 10k might struggle getting his hards to the end, but I'm not 100% sure on the degradation here, having not raced him myself. So Shabby now right up behind Kiko. He's got the DRS. This is going to be a fairly straightforward move for Shabby, but Kiko's not giving it up and looks for the inside. And then just behind we have Benny, who makes a move up the inside going into Tamburella there on Mamba. So Mamba really is struggling on those 15 lap old mediums now. I think he's just about to lose another position to Stein soon. He does indeed. Stein around the outside. So yeah, Mamba seems to be struggling. Looks like those mediums, when you get into the past lap 13, does seem to be struggling for grip. But out front, Yari, 2.3 seconds clear. So literally got himself past Bren, managed to pull out a nice gap there while Chalkers was making his way past. So pulled himself out of DRS. But again, we got the McLarens in second and third. So that's why they are leading the constructors this year, because they have been so consistent. They're keeping on Shabby, who is going to obviously look at wanting to work his way through the field, and there we go. That was an easy move on Bren there. I think Bren not fighting it. I think A, he knows it's Shabby, B, he's got a penalty, and C, his tyres are absolutely shot. So Shabby up into fourth now. Be interesting. Let's see if he can chase down Michael. Currently a second behind. Michael is second behind Chalkers. Yari keeping that gap at the front. Just over 2 seconds. They're sort of fluctuating between 2.5 down to 2.2. Benny looks like he will be the next to approach Kiko. And see what he can do to get past. But he is in good company with Stein literally just behind him there in the Aston Martin on 6 lap old mediums. Also going to look out of interest for 10k. He's obviously running last at the moment, but he is on the hard, so I don't think he has to pit again. So he will be looking at going to the end, so we'll see if he can make up some spaces later on. So Stein and Benny very, very close. I think Stein will go for a move down the start-finish line here, obviously with the DRS. And there we are, a move up the inside as Kiko in front of him gets himself past Bren as well. So Stein and Benny swapping places there. Michael now closing the gap on Chalkers down to 3/4 of a second. And Shabby a further 1.3 seconds back, so he's not gaining, but he's not losing either. It looks like Stein and Benny are having a nice little battle going on here. Bren has had an issue. I think those 17 lap old tyres. So I think coming out of Aqua Minerale, he's overheated them. He is struggling big time now coming over around to Alta. So I would be very surprised if we don't see Bren coming into the pits here. We're just following around, see if he does indeed pit. I think he might have just needed to cool the tyres down. No, he has had enough of those. So Bren has come in and gets a 5-second penalty for his troubles for speeding in the pit lane. So one of those... It was going so well for Bren. So Bren going onto the soft, so obviously he will be looking at a further stop. He won't be able to take, 13 laps? 14 laps? I'm not sure if he'll be able to take those to the end. I think they will be dead, but we will see. So currently Yari with a just over a 2.5 second lead over Chalkers, currently second place in the championship, closely followed by his teammate Michael. I do wonder if we could see them working together here to use the DRS to close up on Yari. Shabby a further 1.7 seconds back. Very interested in what's going on in front of him. Then we have Shabby in fourth, and then we have this little battle going on, 5th, 6th. Benny's had enough, he's come into the pits. Mamba's keeping going on those mediums. I take my hat off to him at the front. So yeah, Chalkers and Michael, I can see just swapping positions a little bit here. Bren picking up a 3 seconds. So I mean, literally in the space of half a lap, he's picked up 8 seconds, 5 seconds for speeding and 3-second corner cutting. But going back, yeah, I can see Michael and Chalkers literally just trying to use each other to maybe reeling that gap on Yari. Just use the DRS to their advantage, but Shabby now only 1.4 seconds, so he's closed in 0.3 on this lap on the two in front of him. Kiko doing well in the Alpha in 6th place. He's closing in on Stein at the moment. Ride on board with Shabby for a lap, unless anything happens. I need to jump out, obviously. Here we are heading to turns 2, 3 and 4, which is Variante Tamburello. Bren picking up another 3-second time penalty, so I believe he's on about 11 seconds already. Chalkers in front having a time penalty as well. I missed that. I'm not quite sure how early he got that. So Stav has come into the pits as well, so he's had enough of those mediums. He'll be looking at... Well, he'll go on to the softs, and again, I'm not sure he'll get it to the end, but we'll have to wait and see. 10k now picking up a 3-second time penalty as well. What we'll do, we have a quick look at the penalty situation. Bren, 17 seconds there. And then we have 10k on 9, Mamba on 9, and Chalkers in third place with 3 seconds. That is really going to hurt him towards the end of this race. Yari has pitted. Yari's pitted. He's had enough of those mediums, so he is going out for softs for the last 12 laps. Mamba also pitting 21 laps. Well done. Take my hat off to you, Mamba, for doing 21 laps on those mediums. It must have been like dry tyres on a wet track, I'd have thought, towards the end there. Bren picking up another penalty, so I think he's up to 20 seconds now, so we will see how he does, but on board with Benny, who puts in the fastest lap on that last lap. We have a yellow in sector 1, and it's Mamba. Mamba on those fresh softs. Oh! Bren there getting involved. I'm not 100. Quite sure what he's doing here. Yeah, he's cooked his tyres. It happens, unfortunately, when you have a spin, your tyre temperature goes through the roof, and if you don't come on easily and treat the next couple of corners with a with the respect that they're due, then you are in trouble. But looks like Bren there getting out the way, so that was Shabby and Stein lapping him there. Let's keep an eye on the front. So Michael and Chalker still very close together. Shabby in third, still 1.7 seconds back, so he hasn't lost any time, hasn't gained anything really, but he is now being closed right down by Stein. So we'll keep an eye on him and see what happens. Bren, I have a feeling this could be a retirement in the pits coming up. I might be wrong. He's going to serve his 5-second penalty, so not quite sure how many seconds that's going to give him. I think it's still going to be down at about 16, but we'll have a check on that in a while. So Bren does indeed carry on, so all credit to him. Okay. Keep an eye on Mamba here, who is closing in on the back of Stavrolis. We have another safety car. And unsurprising really, it was Bren who has crashed. I think he'd had enough of today, to be honest. I honestly thought he might retire in the pits. But all credit to him, looks like he's gone out and then finally bitten the dust just after Tamburella. So not a good evening for Bren there. Okay, so Yari back at the front. Obviously 2 lap old softs as opposed to Chalkers, who's going to be on fresh softs, but the difference is that Chalkers does have that 3-second penalty. Not going to help him at all. He's obviously shabby at the moment in a net second place. 10k Mamba into the pits. They're going to go for a obviously fresh set of softs to see him out to the end. So we have 10 runners at the moment. So as long as they finish, they'll get points. But Brett, obviously, cause of this safety car with the crash between Tamburello and Villeneuve, between, well, turns 4 and 5, basically. Then we had Prince and Wesley with the coming together at Ravazza. And so not quite sure what happened there, but a shame for the race. Cassell, Rosetta Rambo and Bossmots all coming to grief, either Acqua Minerale or Tamburello, unfortunately. So those corners really have been quite tough on the drivers today. Okay, just having a quick look at the chat. We've got Ens. Good evening, Ens. Ephraim, hello. Brent, good evening. Stuart. Stuart wants me to tell Billy not to spin on Thursday. Now, being fair, I mean, what I've watched is Billy's been very unlucky so far this year in Division 3. Seems to have had a bit of a target on him. But he has had a few incidents. Okay, a couple of spins by himself, but he's a very capable driver in that division. So, so Billy from Stuart, your teammate, do not spin on Thursday night. I'm sure Stuart will do all the spinning for you. Okay, so still under safety car conditions. 7 laps to go, including the lap that we are on. The current running order, we have Yari in first position in the Mercedes. Then second, just behind, we have Chalkers in the McLaren, third shabby championship leader in the Alfa Romeo. So we have the top two, second and third, currently in this race. In fourth place we have Stein in the Aston Martin. Fifth we have the second McLaren of Michael. In sixth we have Kiko, who's doing very well in the AlphaTauri so far. Hopefully he can continue that. We then have Stavroulis in the Ferrari, Benny in the Red Bull the last race winner, Benny. 10k Amamba, and I'm going to jump to the front because we are safety car in this lap. We should resume to racing. We'll have 6 laps left. As long as there's no further safety car, we should hopefully see some close battling towards the end. So here we go, leaving it late. Here he does, and he goes. Chalker's got quite a good jump there. Shabby not such a good start, quite close with Stein behind him. But yep, following through, no moves. So we will keep an eye on the front too, because Chalkers is looking very racy now. So yeah, Chalker's just staying behind Yari there. Mamba picking up another 3-second time penalty there. At the front, Yari and Chalkers. I think Chalkers is just going to sit behind in the tow. Obviously we're looking at a couple of laps before the DRS is re-enabled after the safety car, but Shabby and Stein are very close behind Chalkers there with the fastest lap of the race of 15.860. But just doesn't have the pace to get past Stein at the moment. As I say, once the DRS is out, I can see that changing at the back there. We have Tenke and Stavrolis are exchanging positions. So Stav now down into 9th. Mamba just behind now, looking quite racy as well. I think he'll be quite clean to get past Stav as quick as he can. Try and make up some places. Let's keep an eye on this battle at the front. As say, it's Yari and Chalkers there. Nose to tail basically at the moment. Shabby not too far behind either. Looks like he's broken Stein ever such a little bit. Needs to pull that gap out to a second to be able to break the DRS. The DRS zone. So there we go, DRS is now enabled, so that will be used for the next lap. Chalkers is going to take a look around the outside. I think it's just to let Yari know that he's there. I don't think he was going for the move there. Stavrolis and Mamba, so Mamba making his way past Stav there. So Stav struggling a little bit in the latter part of this race. But he doesn't have any penalties, so he could still see himself shoot up, especially if there's another late safety car, which I wouldn't put anything past this game. So heading down to Acqua Minerale, we have Yari still leading Chalkers by just over 3 tenths, and a further 6 tenths back we've got Shabby Stein 4 tenths behind. He's not letting go of Shabby either, to be honest, so I think once a DRS this could be very exciting here. You can certainly see a lot closing out. I think Yari unfortunately is going to be the one to suffer at the moment, having no tow, no DRS, so hopefully he's saved up his ERS and be able to defend using that. Here we are onto the DRS. Yeah, Chalkers straight into the DRS, and he is passed before we even got halfway down the start finish line basically. So Chalkers into the lead. We'll see if he can pull away. We'll also see if Shabby can make any indentation on Yari, I was going to say. It looks a bit further down there. Looks like a Tenke's made up a couple of places past Kiko and Benny. Benny currently in a solid 8th. So he's shown glimpses of the top 4 or 5 today. As I say, this is a new track. Oh, Yari lost a little bit of traction there coming out of Acqua Minerale. Managed to save it, and it was a cracking save. Keeps Michael behind him, but he has obviously lost 2 places now to Shabby and Stein. But we've got a 4-way battle here for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Heading on to the DRS straight. So who has DRS? I think everybody except Shabby. Yep, everybody except Shabby. So poor old Shabby could be a sitting duck here. But he goes defensive on the inside. Stein goes for a move around the outside, and he makes it well before the corner. And looking behind Michael. Michael went for a move up the inside of Yari there. I think he thought better of it and backed out, which was probably the more sensible thing to do, to be honest, going into that chicane. But Stein now moved his way up into 2nd place. And Chalkers is quite comfortable in 1st, but he does have that 3-second penalty. So needs to pull out 3 seconds on Stein or Shabby or Yari behind him. Stein looks like he's just stretching his legs a little bit. But everybody just keeping within just under that 2nd into that second window, and Stein is actually closing in on Chalkers. So this will be interesting. Obviously, he will have DRS now, Chalkers won't, so I can see this gap close down. With Stein there putting in a 15.66 seconds. Yari's out! What's happened to Yari? Ah! Final corner coming out of Ravazza. So we have a yellow on the last lap of the race. Gary, that was going so well for you up to that point. I know you struggled after the restart, but you're still in with good points. That's unfortunate. So we are now down to 9 runners. Chalkers leading the way, half a second clear of Stein. Shabby in third, Michael in fourth, 10k in fifth. In sixth we have Kiko, seventh we have Benny, eighth Mamba, and ninth Stavroulis. So all they need to do now is finish the race and they will score good points. Yari there, I'm not sure if he'll pick up a point for that because he didn't actually finish the race, but we'll see whether he is classified or not. But we are now coming down towards Ravazza for the final corner, for the final time, and Chalkers looks like he is going to take the win on track, but obviously the penalties are going to knock him down potentially to third place on the podium. So Chalkers does indeed take the win. Stein comes across second but is classified first. Shabby takes second. Chalkers is demoted down to third. Then we have Kiko in fourth. Fifth place Benny. Sixth place Michael. Seventh place I think was 10k. And then 8th we had Mamba, and 9th we have 8th we have Stavroulis, and 9th we have Mamba. 10k there, picking up driver of the day, obviously working his way from the back of the grid. And there we have Stein. Congratulations for the race win in the Aston Martin there, taking the top step of the podium. Obviously on there with two drivers that are used to being there this year. Obviously Chalkers in the McLaren taking third, and Shabby taking second place in the Alfa Romeo. So let's just have a look at the classifications there. So as I say, in first we have Stein. So a great drive by him for his first victory. Congratulations to him. We have Shabby taking P2. P3 we have Chalkers. P4 Kiko. In 5th Benny. 6th we have Michael. 7th Stavroulis. 8th we have 10k. And 9th of the actual finishers was Mamba, but Yari there classified as 2 laps down, so we'll get 10th. Then the did not finishers, unfortunately we had Bren, Prince Killer, Wesley, Cassell, Rosette and Rambo, and Bossmots. So that was today's Formula 1 Grand Prix from Imola. So a fantastic win there by Stein. Some good battling there. Not too many penalties. But as a shame for Chalkers, as they're winning on the track, but unfortunately dropping down to third because of that penalty. But it will still be good points for his championship either way. Before we go, I'd just like to tell you about DTR coming soon. We've got the Formula 2 Championship that we're looking at starting. So sign-ups are now open if you go to the Discord channel and to the F2 section. We're obviously looking at getting one league, but if we get enough drivers, we could potentially have an A and a B league. So if you're interested in F2 with the new cars, go and sign up. It'll be great to see you there. So that is it for us tonight. Thank you for joining me at Imola. It's been a pleasure hosting you and talking to you. Many congratulations to Stein and to Shabby and Chalkers for the for getting on the podium. And we will look forward to next week's race, which is at Austria, obviously at the Red Bull Ring. It will be the last race before the Christmas shutdown. We're going to have a couple of weeks break at Christmas so everyone can let their hair down and have a nice time. But before that happens, don't forget, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, we have Division 2. And we also have Division 4 that will be live on YouTube. I myself will be racing in Division 4. Very much looking forward to it. And then on Thursday, 8 o'clock, we also have the Division 3. So that's the one that Billy's in, which Stuart has asked him not to spin in. So fingers crossed Billy will have a good one. We'll certainly be cheering you on. So thank you ever so much for joining me. I hope you have a very good evening and you've enjoyed the racing. If you're fancy some more racing, please tune into the YouTube channel, because Division 5 would have also been streamed tonight, which has my good friend Mikey who's doing the commentary there. From me, my name's Nellboy. It's been a very good evening. Have a good night. Take care.